I've done it! I've broken into the 16-minute club!
All right. I said 1 and 2.
So I'm a bit late to the party with this one and it's been a hell of a battle to get here, but I'm finally ready to do my tips video on how to get a 16-minute time on the TT Isle of Man game. And I know what you're thinking, it's like, hang on, 16 minutes, what we want is a 15 minutes tips video. But the reason for choosing this part in my progression is I would say breaking into the 16 minutes is the first major milestone in proving that you can do a fast lap of the full course with hardly any crashes. 17 minutes is a good time, but you'll probably easily break into that club once you've memorised the full course and you've stopped crashing. So before I show you the full lap, here's a few preparation tips to increase your chances of getting a fast time. And first super important tip is to make use of the half power technique. I personally couldn't got into the 16-minute times without it. Half power allows you to drop off a little bit of high speed in order for you to make it round tight corners, and saves you having to drop down gear which can jolt the bike and spin you off into a crash. And make sure you've got some power on when going over bumps and humps in the road while cornering. It lays down traction on the back wheel and pushes you forward through any unsettling bits on the road. The next tip's going to sound a bit weird, but make sure you're fully awake to deal with the ridiculous amounts of concentration levels needed and the fast reaction times. So go for a run, or failing that, have half a dozen Diet Cokes to make sure you're in that wired state. And final prep tip is get rid of as many audio and visual distractions as possible, including dogs, kids and wives.
Hey, can you come and help me move this wardrobe, please?
Fuck.
So
these are the riding style settings that I'm currently running with. And it's really about finding the right balance for you between being able to hard brake into and hard accelerate out of corners, but avoiding silly crashes where the bike's misbehaving. And I've got the difficulty set to expert, but I'm pretty sure that only defines how fast the computer riders go. So here we go then, I'm riding with Gary Johnson on the BMW Superbike. Half power on the gunshots, there's not too much wheel spin wasting time away from the line. There's definitely faster and less twitchy Superbikes to choose from, but you know what, I got started on this challenge and I wasn't going to give up until I joined the 16-minute club. You take a nice wide smooth racing line through the bottom of Bray Hill, then you can take it at full speed and it takes a lot of the craziness out of it. I drop to half power around this bumpy bit and then get set at wide left in order to go brake, down gear, brake, down gear, brake, down gear and take quarter bridge as fast and smoothly as possible. Took fractionally too much power into that corner but got away with it, and I leave half power on in order to make it easier to turn through the S-bend. You can drop to half power to make that corner slightly easier, or over time you'll just learn where the racing line turning in points are. Okay, he's pulled in for a Ginster's pasty, so saves having to overtake him. So 1:22.5 after stage 1, that's not too bad. I've done a 1:27.96 before, but that's okay for 16-minute time. Half speed for me still around Ballascary. I'll work on taking that at full speed as I try and join the 15-minute club. Full speed on that one though. This Beamer tops out at 194 miles an hour, so you miss an opportunity to claw back some seconds versus some of the faster Superbikes. But yeah, nice and easy section 2. This is the part of the full lap that I statistically have least crashes. And then half power around this bumpy bit. And then drop to 4th, half power, and then make sure you do a tight right out of this corner. Half power, smooth, and try and turn as little as possible through the S-bend. To be honest, I can't believe how fast you have to go to even get into a 16-minute time. At this pace where I've got it near perfect, it feels like it's kind of 15-minute territory, but clearly there's a lot more work to do to steal a second here, steal a second there on each corner. And if you think about how many corners there are on the full course, then that's where you can start to eat away at that next minute. Drop to fourth and then treat these 2 or 3 corners as one big one. And then half power around these bumps and a hump, absolutely essential. And geez, hit the curb, lucky not to come off there. Half power again, bit bumpy and humps on these 2 corners. Oof, easy Tiger. Half power is really nice around there. When I reach this point, I actually take a couple of deep breaths and just calm myself down for the next big leg. Fourth gear, half power and small turns for that bit. Arch Nemesis corner, going to take it easy. Getting a bit crazy there and starting to get out of line, so just let off the power a bit to get back in control. fourth gear and a smooth right to left to right to left to right needed. Got my line a bit wrong there to let off the gas just to get back on line. Some of you are probably thinking, why are you riding with the other computer riders? Surely that's making it more difficult. Why didn't you ride in time attack mode so you got the track to yourself? And the answer to that is partly I started this challenge with the other riders and I couldn't let it go until I'd achieved it. A part of it's because it's a bit more entertaining for you to watch with some of the riders to encounter. Loads of half power bits around here. Bumpy along this bit, so take half speed as a precaution. Oops, sorry old bean. Okay, so up onto the mountain, all clean so far. Oh crap, hit something weird on the road. Keep going though. You can do a small number of crashes and still get a 16-minute time. But you've got to concentrate straight after a crash because it can easily knock you out of your normal rhythm. And then along this section where it's quite difficult to see where the corners are, I tend to just do tiny little microturns. It's not actually changing the steering much, but it's just getting me ready for if I see the corner at the last minute and I can push it in the right direction.
bumpy around this corner, so half power is good. That bumpy bit at the end there. Just to explain that fluff there, my wife came into the room and said, "Can I have some money?" I was like, "No!" Yes! Done it! So, barely scraped into the 16 club, but I'll take it. And at the time that was good enough for an overall 388 ranking on the Superbike on PS4, but now I see it's into the early 400s. And I saw some comments on the TT Players page on Facebook saying they wanted to calculate what their average lap speed is. So I made a little utility on dggamingtips.com if that's of interest to you. So that's it guys, hope it's been useful to see what kind of speed you've got to go in order to get into the 16-minute lap times. Give me a like if that's been useful or entertaining, and consider subscribing if you want to hear about more of my new videos coming soon.